beloveds. I have had almost 2 weeks off from running because I realized that one of my knees was really irritated. So I've been biking instead. I even took off walking. I've literally biked every day this week. Well, except for the Wednesday when we went to the gym. And my knee's a lot better. So it'll be interesting to see if we decide to go for a run tomorrow or just go for a walk. I really don't know. So it depends on how I feel when I wake up. But I thoroughly enjoyed biking. So I actually have a pretty decent bike, so that helps. Actually, I'm not even going to say it's decent. It's a good bike. It's just older, and I don't know about replacing the tires on it. Okay, it is September 3rd. Our title is I Sing Life's Song of Joy. And our quote is, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God, made known unto God." That is from Philippians 4:6. You are part of the universal mind, one with universal substance. You live, move, and have your being in pure spirit. All the wealth, the power, and the goodness of this spirit exist at the center of your being. You experience this good in such a degree as you accept, believe in, and feel it. As you enter into life, feeling the divine presence in everything, more and more you will hear a song of joy singing at the center of your being. You have only to be still and listen to this song of life, for it is always there. Say, knowing that the loving presence is always closer to me than my very breath, I have nothing to fear. I feel its loving protection around me. I know that a song of joy, of love, and of peace is forever chanting its hymn of praise and beauty at the center of my being. Therefore, I tune all unhappy and negative ideas out of my mind. I turn the dial of my thought into the sunshine of life, into brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of radiant spirit. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me into my affairs. Joyfully, I anticipate greater abundance, more success, and a deeper peace. Joy wells up within my soul, and life sings its song of ecstasy in my heart. So I immediately have two thoughts. One thought is that's the point of spiritual work. To get quiet, to hear that song. To hear that song within you, but also to hear that song without. One of the things that I really enjoy when I walk and when I run, I typically will take my, I have an MP3 player. I'll take that and I'll listen to music. It helps me to keep my speed up. But I also like to listen to the birds. And that's one of the things about biking. Because I'm moving at a faster speed, I need to be more aware of my surroundings, especially since I'm in the road all the time, not on the sidewalk. And so I don't use my headphones. I don't take my music. What I do is I listen to the birds. I listen to the wind. I listen to the trees. I listen to the sounds around me. And so that song of joy, that song of life, you'll hear it in the leaves of the tree, in the wind. You hear it in the songs of the birds. You hear it in the chatter of the squirrels. Two of my cats were having a conversation on the bed. I can hear it in there too. I don't know what they were talking about, considering the two of them. It was probably me. But it's about hearing that song. The other thing is, there is, and I'm going to use, it's an African tradition, but I'm not sure where in Africa, where when a woman decides she's going to get pregnant, she goes out and learns the song of her baby. And then when she gets pregnant, she and her husband will sing the song to the baby. And then when the baby comes into the world, they teach everybody in the in the family, in the village. It takes a village. They teach everybody the song of the baby, so that at any point, if the baby, as the child is growing up and well into adulthood, probably all the way through adulthood, the child ever forgets who they are, behaves badly, then this family group, blood relatives and the village, literally, will gather that person up, and everybody comes together and sings the song of who that person is to that person. That's who friends are. That's who people who love you are. They know your song. And when you forget your song, they sing your song back to you. And that song is that song of joy that Ernest and Raymond are talking about. It's that song of you. It's the song that God sang to bring you into existence. So, who are the people in your life that know your song? And then the next question is, do you know your own song? Do you know who you are? And that is the point of spiritual practice, to learn your own song. So, which if you're not a musician, maybe that doesn't resonate completely with you, but it's your story. It's your art. It's your experience, it's your song. So, learn it. Sing it. Sing it to the people that love you. So I sing life's song of joy. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. By prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving. Sounds like treatment to me, right? That's from Philippians 4:6. I think Ernest had a pretty good source material here for the way he taught us to pray. So you are part of the universal mind, one with the universal substance. You live, move, and have your being in pure spirit, right? You are literally made from divine stuff. You are made by God, of God, from God. All the wealth, the power, and the goodness of the Spirit exist at the center of your being, because you were literally made from it. You experience this good to such a degree as you accept it, believe in it, and feel it. And that's where we talk about how big is your cup of acceptance. Because we learned that in the other book, the 365 Science of Mind book. Ernest talks about the cup of acceptance. And it's one of the things we teach. How big is your mental equivalent? How big is your cup of acceptance? If you're walking around with a thimble of a cup of acceptance, you're not accepting much. It's like this good is literally pouring out around you, but you're only accepting this much. Trade in that thimble. Get a bigger cup. And then when you see that it's overflowing, trade it in for a bigger cup. Until your cup of acceptance is, and I use the term cup of acceptance because, it's evocative of an image. But why not have a swimming pool of acceptance? Why not have an ocean of acceptance? Why not have a universe of acceptance? It's a bit mind-blowing to have a universe of acceptance, but the universe is of acceptance. The universe accepts the good. We're one of the few beings running around that we know about, that likes to run around with thimblefuls of cups of acceptance. The birds and the bees and the trees, their cup of acceptance is their whole being. I would say my cat's cup of acceptance is their whole being. Most of them. So, how big is your cup of acceptance? As you enter into life, feeling the divine presence in everything, more and more you will hear a song of joy singing at the center of your being. You have only to be still and listen to this song of life, for it is always there. Okay, and so now here's where he goes into, you can call it the revelation of a treatment, you could call it affirmations. It's a little longer today, but the very last line is pretty short. So, use these words, take these words as your own. Knowing that the loving presence is always closer to me than my very breath, sounds like Rumi, I have nothing to fear. There is nowhere God is not. There is nowhere God is not. I feel its loving protection around me. I know that a song of joy, of love, and of peace is forever chanting its hymn of praise and beauty at the center of my being. Therefore, I tune all unhappy and negative ideas out of my mind. Okay? And how do I do that? I tune the dial of my thought into the sunshine of life, into the brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of radiant spirit. I tune into the divine. And when I tune into the divine, I naturally tune out all. Have you played with a radio dial? I don't know. Kids today, they'll never know the joy of turning the dial, trying to get just right, because the machines do it for us now. But when you are tuning into the station that you like, what you didn't care for, you're tuning away from. Because you are focusing on what you want. That's how you do it. Focus on what you want. Focus on the joy. Focus on the presence. Focus on that radiant spirit. That radiant spirit that is you. Literally walking around. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me into my affairs. So this last line, joyfully I anticipate greater abundance, more success, and a deeper peace. Joy wells up within my mind, and life sings its song of ecstasy in my heart. So what's our mission today? Should we choose to accept it? I'll tell you what it is, because I just mentioned it. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to tune all unhappy and negative ideas out of our minds by tuning the dial of our thoughts into the sunshine of life, into that radiant spirit that created us to have experiences as us. That's the mission. That's the mission. It's always the mission. And the great thing about that is, as we are tuning into, we're naturally tuning away. So we don't have to fight the negative thoughts. We're simply tuning into the ones we want. It's a whole lot easier that way. All right, beloveds. I also am going to encourage you, as I always do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. We're headed into a 3-day weekend, and I didn't even ask, and they just let me have Monday, so I'm going to rest. I don't know what that's going to look like. I might see if I can restore some order to the chaos of my kitchen. But whatever is loving, whatever is kind, whatever is compassion, however big or small that looks like for you today, I encourage you to do it every day, because I want you to practice it on yourself, because 1, you deserve it. You deserve your own loving, kind, and compassion. And 2, the more you practice on yourself, the more it becomes kind of that default, the more you will have to share with everyone else. And that's how we make a loving, kind, compassionate world, by practicing on ourselves. I also encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. For me, it's been biking. I've enjoyed it. We'll see about the running tomorrow. Drink plenty of water. get that face full of sun that I'm always talking about first thing in the morning. It really does go a long way to help resetting those, circadian rhythms and Krebs cycles and hormones. And open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven. Right here, right now. It's all around you. Go listen to the song of joy that the birds sing, and the squirrels sing, and the wind through the leaves of the trees sing. Go listen to the song of the joy that your heart sings when you do something that makes you feel alive. Whatever it is, whatever it is. Listen to good music, garden, read a good book. Whatever sets your heart on fire. Do that. Do more of that. That's what the world needs. People doing more of what sets our soul on fire. Okay, let's see. It's Friday. I'm not sure if there's anything going on specifically at CLC. I do know Reverend David should be on Facebook Live around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back around 9 a.m. Depends on the park. I get to go to the park tomorrow. And see how that... and then if you want to know what's going on, because like I said, I'm not sure if there's anything special going on, email info@creativelife.org. If there is nothing going on, you can always check the YouTube channel, Creative Life Spiritual Center YouTube channel. You can also go to the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. That's where all this is. All of the Running Rev Ryan social medias are under the Running Rev. If you check the Facebook and the YouTube are the Creative Life Spiritual Center, and our Instagram is Creative Life Spark. So if there's nothing going on specifically, you have all this other media that you can check and see what we've been up to. Other than that, do what you need to do to have a great day, an amazing day, a wonderful day, a fantastic day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. Know that you're loved. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. That's our state of grace. All right, beloveds, I will see you next time. Know that you're loved.